Right, well, it's recording now, so someone say something.
All right, so I'd just like to put a disclaimer and apologies for all our loyal listeners. There is no sponsor break this week because we're not recording in our normal location, are we?
We're not, no.
No, so because of this...
We've all got handheld microphones and therefore we can't crack a can in the microphone and make it sound crisp.
I thought about
apologies.
I thought about trying to be a proper mad lad and do it one-handed, but I'm scared of ruining the carpet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is not my house.
Yeah, we should probably address where we are. If it sounds any different, we're in our guitarist James's house. Hey, James is also with us. So say what up, James.
What's up? How's it going?
So that's pretty sound. Although you need to either talk a bit louder or put it close to your face.
Yeah, I've got it.
Sound, mate, nice one.
Right, you'll get used to it. It's fine.
So we've been busy today, filming extra content, which has gone pretty well, which you will see soon
at some point
in the future.
Hopefully this year.
Distant future.
It will be this year. I promise. I swear to God. But yeah, so we figured while we were here, we do what we do when Connor's on the podcast and go, well, you're here now, so
might as well get you on the podcast. But we can do it as a bit of a guest as well. So James has technically not been on the podcast before.
Yeah, no, I guess you could say that. Yeah,
no,
I've not
you may have been mentioned. James is our guitarist. For anyone that follows Wolves Don't Sleep, he's been in the band for quite some time, but hasn't actually ever been publicly.
Yeah,
I guess this is a bit of a hard launch to the 11 people that are listening to this.
This is a proper one because it's we're kind of doing that thing where because we're a band with not much note, so there's no point announcing member changes because quite frankly, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So it only matters that we know who's in the band because that's very important. You know who's in the band.
To be fair, yeah. you were on previous. Were any of the photo shoots previously released or used?
Yeah, the one from when we joined Mosaic Music the other week. So
it's the first time it's been used, and
and
you had blonde in your hair.
Yeah, I look like a little version of Ghost, mate.
And Connor actually had long hair.
Connor still had hair.
Wow, that was a long while ago.
That was
that feels like forever now.
But the thing is, no one's mentioned anything. No one's questioned these things. The fact that I look completely different, Connor looks completely different. There's another person there, and then people just gone, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
It's probably partly in part because you've been playing gigs with us for so long now.
That's true. Yeah, it's been a while.
Just all of a sudden, just we were a 4-piece for a bit in the middle of the Panny D, and then all of a sudden we're a 6-piece.
Yep, you came out of COVID. You found 2 new members. Not really sure where they came from, but here we are.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's basically it. So
we should start with some of the intro questions for James.
Yeah,
we do.
So take it away, Mr. Alex.
Well, so let's start with what is your favourite shape of pasta?
My favourite at the minute, Fusilli. I like the spirals. Yeah.
Like the spirals?
Yeah.
They
seem to catch. Except for shells, they catch no sauce, you know?
I am a fan of the fusilli. I've got some of that at home right now. I'm probably going to cook it for myself tonight. I was thinking about that earlier.
Fusilli, absolute solid choice. And also, everyone loves a good Menti B spiral, don't they?
Yeah, all too familiar there.
Way.
But I mean, realistically, as long as it carries as much sauce as possible,
the
shape is irrelevant.
What sauce do you go for?
Oh, usually some garlic and tomato based.
Yeah, nice.
Fairly plain with pasta. Yeah.
No.
But then, if you're feeling spicy, chuck some hot sauce in there.
Tomato and basil, your white boy pasta sauce.
That's it. Yeah. White boy from the Midlands, kind of like.
No, yeah. Did I ever tell you about the proper student povo meal I did when I was at uni? Oh my god.
Please do.
So I moved into my uni flat and I got bits of food, but my priority as a bloke who never lived on his own before went a bit sideways. So I went to the Tesco that was near where I was living. Good old Castle Crack, rip in peace.
Big up.
God, what a place. And so I got bits, but my priorities were right, cool. I'm on my own now. Uni, let's get it. So I got beer, obviously,
of course, yeah.
And then I got some pasta and stuff, and then got back and went, right, it's dinner time. Just moved in with my flatmate, and I went, I'll whack some food on for us. And he was like, yeah. I realized the only thing that I brought there was just pasta. So this is part 1 of the bad meal.
Okay, right.
So this first day in my flat, and I had raw just pasta on its own.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna cook you a meal.
I've done a couple cheapo pastas. Have you ever done tomato ketchup? Just because
that was going to be the next one I was about to roll into. So there's been like when I'm like, I need some food. I think I was like kind of ill or something, and this is when I first discovered it. And I was like, right, I'm gonna make some pasta. I'm not mad at. I'm getting there. And then it's just like, what do I find? I need some semblance of flavor. And it's like, just whack some ketchup in it.
so there's 3 levels I've done of cheapo pasta. Obviously, there's the pasta on its own, which is not great. Let's be real. Pasta is designed for sauce. There's the tomato ketchup, and then to make that tomato ketchup sort of like mix a little bit better with the pasta, there's tomato ketchup combined with like a reasonable amount of like olive oil or like.
That is like you're trying to be bougie, but you just do not know what you're doing.
Still only have tomato ketchup.
Still 99p olive oil from like Tesco's in the value section.
That is 100% like I've read that the Italians use olive oil on pasta, and you just combined it with
you meant to use like a tiny bit of olive oil as like a lubricant, if you like.
Oh yeah, you can use it as a lubricant.
It's pasta lube.
Oh no! Oh Jesus!
Alex is going to slowly turn into oil bay and just start dripping oil down.
No, it's fine. I've not used that combination in a while. I've since moved on to like proper pasta sauce. Like I've not gone to making it for myself yet.
Still jar dolmio then.
Still jar sauce. Yeah.
To be fair, like, I can never do that because like one of my mates is like a proper good chef. Like it's his job.
Yeah.
And he basically moved me on to like using like rapeseed oil because it's got a higher like burning temp.
Okay.
So it's just easier to cook with.
Yeah.
So ever since I moved to that, I'm like, this is banging. But I could never recreate this on a whim.
No.
Because I know full well I could see myself stood in my kitchen one day and go, Alex did that once. Time for me to try. And then cue just me being angry in the group chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be okay, right?
So yeah, God, I'm really sorry.
What a tangent off the first question already.
If anyone from Italy is listening, I'm so sorry.
Steev, you got question number 2?
I don't remember what question number 2 is.
The crisps.
Oh, the crisps. Oh, yeah, mate. I always just let you handle these. Like,
No, it's fine. I like to go back and forth sometimes, you know, because I've got the banger at the end.
Yeah, you've got the banger. Right. God. So, favorite crisps to put in a crisp sandwich.
Oh,
flavor, brand.
I feel like that's
cut.
Well, obviously that comes with a brand, doesn't it?
Sometimes no, but other brands have started doing different styles of cut now.
You got to be very specific.
Okay, like the thick cut McCoy's like crinkle crisps.
Yeah.
Where they're like flavored like cheese and ones. Slap those on a sandwich.
Nice.
It's just like basically a cheese sandwich, but like actually got some thickness to it.
Yeah. Because everyone's like, you're not lived in England as a child if you've not put crisps in the sandwich.
It's a staple, yeah. If you're broke and you got nothing else going for you, raid the cupboards, get some bread, get some crisps, chuck it together.
Sometimes I'm just like, I want something to eat, but nothing too much. You know what I need? Just 2 types of carb.
Yeah.
No, I get you. That's fair.
And considering that I have looked at the metrics for this podcast, we do have some American listeners. So let me just clarify. For our American friends, you get your chips, your Lays, right? Everyone's cringing
Walkers.
because I'm saying things that are wrong. And you get 2 slices of bread, right? You can put butter on the bread as well, which also apparently the Americans don't butter bread either. So.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why would you not put? It's just going to be so dry.
They just use mayo, mate.
Oh, that's way worse. Yeah, fair. Okay, right. That explains a lot. Right.
Yeah, no, we use butter and or margarine if you're
inclined.
Margarine's the vegetarian one as well, isn't it?
Well, they're also just like vegetarian like butters and stuff because I'm using like some vegan butter.
But anyway,
margarine's like something I've not used since my gran was about. It's old people.
Yeah, it's old people stuff. Because my nan always used to bake with it and stuff. Yeah, probably still does, to be fair. Right, so what you do is you get your bread, you whack some butter on it, you don't toast it. I mean, you could toast it if you're feeling like a bit of a madman. That's the next. I might try that next, actually. A crisp toasty.
Oh.
Although don't put it in a toasty maker because I have done this before. Don't put it in a toasty maker. It goes soggy. Bad move. Bad move.
Okay.
All round.
What? So put the crisps in after.
Toast the bread.
Yep.
Butter it. Then whack your crisps in it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah. So then you butter your bread. You open your pack of chips, heathens, and then you just pour them on one slice of bread. Put the other slice on top. Eat. That is.
Crisp sandwich.
That is a crisp sandwich. Right, question 3.
We're very cultured as Brits.
Right, this final question comes as a 2-parter.
Oh dear, go on.
And imagine you were a wrestling WWE superstar, right? which first of all, would you be a face, a heel, or an underdog?
Oh wait, so a face, a heel.
So face is like the good guys, like they come onto like the fanfares,
right.
like they're liked by the crowd. People want them to do well.
Yeah.
The heels are like the bad guys. They come in, they get booed by the crowds.
Yeah.
And or the underdogs are the ones that come in that they're on neither side.
Yeah.
But everybody, like when the underdogs are in there, everybody wants them to win anyways.
Okay. I think I'd definitely be on the underdog side. Cause it'd be like a weird character.
Like the weird, quiet one.
Yeah, for sure.
And part two, and this feeds into the fact that sometimes we're a music podcast.
Sometimes.
Which artist would you get to do your entrance music? Or what kind of entrance music would you want?
Wait, Chris Jericho's got a band now, hasn't he?
Fozzy, yeah.
Fozzy.
Yeah,
He's
had that for
a long time.
It'd be rude not to. Like, I think it'd be.
What, use Fozzy?
Yeah. Why would you not? He gets both ends of it. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
If you could pick anyone in the world, like you could literally pick like Mayhem.
So, for instance, there was a wrestler not long back that used that got Code Orange to write him a song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and for the thing that happened today, Motionless in White have got one. And for the WWE as well, one of the other ones, the Wonder Years released a track that is now done for a wrestling thing as well. So like the wrestling music thing's really branching out, which I think is sick. Like, because obviously like rock and roll wrestling fans, it's the same people essentially.
Yeah. You know what? I think I've got a good one for this. I reckon I'd actually ask like Sum 41 to do it.
Yeah,
but I'd ask them to do their heavier side.
Yeah. That would be.
So like they're approaching new metal-y side. Yeah. I said I wanted Alpha Wolf to make their own version of like a Limp Bizkit song.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah. But like
because
really
they're going
heavy,
to like
new
because
metal,
they're going to like
chunky.
the really heavy new metal side of things. Like with some. So all right, Sum 41 is a good one.
Sum 41, especially when
nice.
they're doing like Pain for Pleasure and all that kind of stuff, and then it's like you got Browntown actually like hitting some of the heavy metal stuff. Yeah,
nice.
I can see that hitting
nice.
quite hard, and it's like, go ham, write something heavy for me, but make it fun. I think they'd be like the band to do it.
Sick.
Like,
100%. Right, cool.
Right,
Thanks, dude.
That's the intro to James. We found out really, really useless information about James.
Completely useless. Yeah.
But
now you know what Chris to buy me if you see me on tour. So yeah, get at it.
Yeah.
Right, so let's move on to the sensible section, which is the news.
I don't have anything prepared, so it's all on you this
it's
time.
It's all on me. Oh, anyway, like random updates.
Well, I have like one little tidbit.
That's fine. We'll get them when we get there. So like obviously like random news and stuff I've been doing recently. So obviously the other week I saw Enter Shikari at the arena.
Oh, nice,
on
yeah.
their tour,
nice.
The Kiss for the Whole World. It's Shikari, man. Shikari bang.
Yep.
They've never let her down.
They
always
don't miss.
A-class.
They never miss. But one of the coolest things that they had was they had these massive like essentially video columns, like massive square video walls on both sides of the screen with a video wall at the back, which are climbable.
Ooh,
So
Rao's having a good afternoon.
at one point, Rao appears on the top of one. As the intro to the song goes, he falls into the column, and as he drops in, the video on the column flashes up of him dropping into a tank of water.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
The production.
Mate, honestly,
hell yeah.
hit. It was just once again, Shikari just never miss. They are like an S tier band.
Like, they're always pushing it as well. Every time you see them, they're doing something else that makes you remember the last time you saw Shikari. Like, I've never been disappointed coming away from one of their shows.
No,
I've not seen them in a while, to be fair. I need to get back to
get on it, like, because they normally alternate between like club venue tours and then arena tours. So next one should be at City.
Yeah, which
we'll
they'll do 2 days for.
2 days again because it always sells
they
out.
always do 2 dates at
and it's
City.
just carnage.
Yeah. No, I'm yet to see them in a small venue. I've only ever seen them when they're doing their arena tours, but they've always been phenomenal. And I want to see them in a small packed room where you are forced to move. Let's get that.
Yeah, it's mental. But yeah, so the supports were the opening was like a singer-songwriter bloke who's also a YouTuber. Didn't catch him, called Noah Finance. I looked him up. Not really my vibe.
Fair play.
It sounds like a credit card company.
Noah Finance.
Oh my god, he does.
Please call us on 800 123.
Yeah. So, but some people on my Twitter and stuff like he's a good lad and he's doing what, which you know I'm fair for, like not my thing from what I saw, but you know
you can respect it. Yeah,
I respect it. I ain't hating on it. And the main sport was Fever 333.
That's a treat. I've not seen them for. I'm surprised they're still knocking around.
Well, because it was Jason from Let Live,
Yeah,
and then guys from the Chariot. They all quit.
Okay.
like last year, which led to a lot of questions. Apparently, like Jason's difficult to work with or whatever.
No.
So he now just has a band. So he now just has like a new backing band,
Okay.
which is like
It's
really,
Jason and friends. Right.
yeah, it's just him. But you know, they came on and he was already hanging off his banner at the back, like straight away, like because their guy is mental. But they were really good. Not really a band that I'm super into, but I rated the set.
Like the energy of a show, having seen Let Live years and years ago and like seeing them on their early tours with 333, they were just like immediately, as soon as they're on stage, they are just so energetic, and the whole room picks up on that energy and is like ready to go.
Yeah,
it's instant.
Because that's one of the things, because I never really got into Let Live as a band, but the main thing I knew about them was how chaotic they were live.
Oh, every time.
Which is like definitely what you want for, like, even if it's like you see them like supporting someone and you're not into them, but if you watch a band go absolutely ham, you're like, not fair. Like, it's a lot better than other bands where they just kind of like stand there and don't do anything.
That's it. They just like stood still. Whereas these guys, they'd also play like bills that were a lot heavier than they were, and they would fully keep pace, and they would put some of their headlining bands to shame. Like again, caught them on Kerrang tour quite a while ago,
God,
and they just decimated the entire a while back, right? But they just absolutely decimated the whole tour. They were second band on, and they were still one of the best bands we saw because live it just kicked. It was so much fun, and then you'd watch the headliners and kind of put your hands in your pockets and chill.
Yeah, that's like one of the worst ones where like the
great.
opening band just gives so much more than the headline that you're kind of like going, oh, that's a bit rough, innit?
Yeah, it's like I could have gone home 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
I'd be in bed.
That's happened to me a few times where like I've gone to see a headliner specifically, and one of the opening bands just absolutely wrecked it. I know the best instance of when it happened wasn't when I saw Bullet for My Valentine do the Poison in full.
Damn.
Which is legit.
Yeah.
Which they're now doing again with Trivium doing Ascendancy.
Ooh.
That's
I've seen that. I saw that announcement.
Yeah,
both bands are doing both albums.
I need to check that out. That sounds right on my street. Yeah. Yeah.
And the openers were While She Sleeps.
Oh, you've got some tough competition there, guys. I'm sorry.
On the Brainwashed album.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like they would have just tore things up.
I'd never listened to While She Sleeps before. I put a few bits and stuff. I was aware of Sleeps, and they come on, and you know the drop for Brainwashed.
Yeah.
That I just went, I like this band now.
Oh, that's so good.
Like, it was just like I was like, and they made Bullet look like absolute pussies. Like, they were straight. I was like, oh, like Bullet came on and did Bullet, and I was like, I know these songs, I like it, diddle 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 da. But I was like, but you do not have anywhere near the energy of While She Sleeps.
Yeah,
like they just came on.
I've seen that with a couple of times. I've seen Polaris already.
Yeah,
I'm not saying the bands that they were supporting were bad, because the first time I saw them was with Architects, which is a big one to follow. And the second time I saw them was with Northlane.
That's a solid one.
But Polaris out energy the rest of the night.
I'm not surprised.
Whoever they've been on with, and well, thankfully they're doing headline tours now, and I'm really glad that they've made it to that point.
Next week, boys.
Catch you in a week, guys.
That'll be us. Yeah, they just completely tear the roof off of any venue that they're in. Just their energy is like complete, and they did that. They probably went in with the same mindset as While She Sleeps did, and went, we're with a pretty big band here. We're going to absolutely tear the roof off the place and make everybody remember us.
Yeah,
we might be the small band here, but the big bands are the ones that are gonna have to keep up. Let's make them work for it, and really put them on the back
Polaris
foot.
did that.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, because that's something that I remember from reading an interview from when there was that massive tour back in the mid 2000s with like Devil Driver, Behemoth, Suicide Silence, Trigger the Bloodshed, and whoever the other one was. I can never remember. It's like Trigger the Bloodshed and another band that sound like Trigger the Bloodshed.
This other band, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember it.
And like one of the things that was Des Fafara going, yo, seeing Mitch Looker every night made me rethink how I am as a front man. He was like, I was getting shown up by this kid. He was like, I ain't having this when I'm headlining.
Yeah.
Which is what you want. But yeah, so that's it. And obviously we are seeing Polaris next week, where the supports are going to be mental, because we got Pale Dusk opening from Japan, which is going to be wild. Thornhill from Australia.
Yep.
And Silent Planet.
I've been waiting so long for this game, man. Honestly, it's been so many years I've been waiting to catch this band. I cannot wait.
So this will not be out by that point, but for anyone who bumps into me in Birmingham, I'm not sorry.
Come listen to the next episode.
And I promise you, I tried to stop him. But it is
Come listen to the next episode where we talk about how we went to Polaris.
Yeah. Look,
we're all gonna have voices like this, completely shut.
Look, it is my birthday, and I'm gonna get messy, and I'm gonna have a very nice time.
Okay. You're driving him.
I guess I'm driving. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Right, on to the next bit of random news. So, CJ, thy art is murder.
Oh dear.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
So obviously I did drop this in the group chat, so it's not really the first bit I dropped in the group chat, so it's not a surprise to you boys because I was like blown away by what it was. So CJ is now offering guest vocal spots on your song for 2,500 Australian dollary dues, which converted to good old King's sterling
Let me get
is about 1.2k.
Yeah.
So you are paying 1,200 British pounds for CJ, who's no longer in the art is murder and has been somewhat had the boots put to him in the moral scope of society for his opinions, which he is still posting about on Instagram.
Of course he is.
Because
I stick to your guns.
I still follow him because I'm curious to see where this is going, especially because content like this. But then then it also poses this question. So obviously he has been quote unquote cancelled for having beliefs that the majority of people don't align with. So that raises a question of if you are a smaller band, like bands our level would probably go, oh, that'd be a good little feature. Because some people would do it to be like, oh, look, we've got CJ. And there are probably some bands out there who agree with what he says.
Yeah.
So that's the more things like, one, you would actually get press from it. But also, it's still not the right thing to do, though, is it? Like,
It's not if you're looking at it from like a moral standpoint, but I can see from like the business or like publicity side, you get, as you said, get the people that are in agreement with CJ and kind of like followed him, and then you get a lot of the diehards that CJ did nothing wrong, everything you're seeing on social media is wrong, and kind of like the tinfoil hat types. And I reckon they'll probably end up checking out the songs as well. But yeah,
I also see it as, regardless of what CJ has said or put up on social media or anything like that, he's put very publicly how much it costs to book him. I know it's now going the way of like showing it's fine to show how much money you're making from these kind of things. It's okay to be like open about this, but since he's put very publicly how much it costs or like doesn't cost in this case, like it could cost certain. If you're looking at actual like session vocalists, it will cost way more for it.
I'm pretty sure if I remember right, because there is a website that was set up that I don't remember what it's called, but Levi from Sugar Boom's on it, where it's got loads of vocalists and guys from relatively well-known bands and stuff, where you can go and basically hire them. It's like Fiverr.
It's like a professional Fiverr.
Yeah, it's like Fiverr for metal musicians.
So,
and I'm pretty sure I saw him on that. This was a couple of years ago, mind, and I'm pretty sure he was charging $5,000 for guesties.
This is what I mean. But my point being is that because a lot of bands are DIY these days, and I'm pretty sure we spoke about it before, it's a lot easier because we can sit here with a laptop and a guitar and an audio interface and record an entire album
podcast like we are doing.
Or record. I mean, the podcast is a bit easier because all it requires is 3 microphones. So the budget can go elsewhere. And if any smaller bands now pop up with featuring CJ, thy art is murder or whatever, they'll probably put something like that on it.
Yeah.
But, like you immediately now go, well, you've just paid for it. Like, is he filtering out the ones that he works on, or is he just going, yeah, I'll do it for, is he doing it for any money whatsoever?
We will just have to see, because I will be following this.
Because it also goes,
yeah.
So now you'd see that. I don't think it would be good for bands to do that, because a lot of people will see, oh, you've just paid CJ for the feature.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pay to win kind of.
Yeah,
and
I
nobody
can see
likes
that.
it. Like, coming from any kind of like industry where there is pay to win elements.
Yeah.
No, as soon as you get found out doing the pay to win, quote unquote pay to win thing,
Is CJ really a win though?
That's the question.
Steve
Isn't
said,
it?
I think that's what it's.
I still think it will be a win because he is still a name.
Yeah.
He's a well-known name and he's got a following. It's
like
just
if your track said featuring CJ,
yeah,
you'd go, oh well, it's thy art is murder.
Yeah.
Like they used to be bigger than I think they are now.
Yeah.
Sadly,
I think they're doing pretty well on the new album because most of the tour was sold out.
Yeah, that's true. But they when they released like Pure Strain of Hate and like Reign of Darkness, and
Yeah,
they were
they're
doing
past the prime
like a
of
lot
it,
bigger.
I'd say.
Yeah, that was a different time for like core genres.
Yeah,
though.
that's
That was,
that,
like,
but
The
that's
whole
what I
thing was
mean.
a lot bigger.
the
But
heyday.
he is still a name, and so people will probably see it as a pay to at least grow themselves bigger. And so in that respect, if we did it, people would shoot us down.
Mate,
People would
Oh,
go,
100%.
we just paid for the feature. Not that we would do it, because I don't think CJ probably isn't going to be a good fit musically. B, there's a lot of stuff that putting back on the Instagram thing, and there's the things that he aligns with. I don't. Most of us don't particularly agree.
I'd rather not work with someone who's a bit of a fucking idiot, quite frankly. I already work with enough idiots, which is 3 of them are in this room, and I'm one of them.
Yep.
You're too kind. Thank you.
But yeah, no, that's the valid thing. But the thing is, someone will do it, and when it happens, don't worry, it's going to go straight to the group chat. But also the thing is, he did put why he just put the price up straight away. He just went, I'm just putting the price up so I don't have to reply to everyone who messages me telling you, which is then says, it makes it look like he's not filtering out if it is good songs or stuff. Because quite frankly, you want your guest features to be someone who is a good fit and also someone you can work well with, and it matches and it is a good working thing. If you're just paying someone for their clout to come onto your track, it doesn't mean it's not going to make your song any better.
Steve and I, we talked about this in the car briefly on the way over, but so yeah, it comes back to, is he filtering himself? And I remembered that Drew from Straight from the Path did a similar thing throughout the pandemic, but I know that he was I don't know if he's still living in France, but he was living in France at the time, and he was charging €500 to do a track, but he was filtering on it.
Yeah,
and I think if you asked him and said, do you want to filter on this track? And he said yes, but for €500, that's probably a better deal, because
it's completely
it
valid,
means
because
that he's listened to the track, gone, I can see myself on this track. It's good enough for me to put my name to it. Let's go.
Yeah, because that's because it's also your credibility as well.
Yeah,
because it has happened to us in the past, and I'm happy to tell this story, because one of the things about being in a band is you do things, you will fuck up, but you learn and then you get better. Is because when we were initially recording our first actual single we put out separately after the first EP, Hope, we saw that Josh from Silosis was offering mixing and mastering. So we went, shall we book a studio in Knots, go through it all, engineer it with the help of the studio we were working with at the time, which is Jack for me, Lube. Big up those boys if you really like ambient indie stuff, which is, they are really sick though. So do check them out if you're into that kind of like Bon Iver kind of stuff.
And Can concur. They are very good.
Yeah. And so we did it, and when we sent it off to Josh, he basically came back and went, the recording quality is not to snuff for me. And he's like, so if I do it and you pay me, I'm not putting my name to this.
Okay, well, that's fair. You can respect that, though.
So we went, all right, fair.
There's clearly different levels to this. He's been in the game for quite a while, and he's quite an audiophile as well, so you can understand if you're shipping recordings over to somebody else to work with, like if he's going to mix, master, or produce it or whatever, then that's a bit different. Whereas if you're getting something to just kind of drop in on your track, your main concern is, are they the right fit for this for this whole unit? Right?
So that taught us a lot. So which is now to the fact that we can just home studio engineer ourselves as well. It's like pretty sick. So we've gone leaps and bounds since that years ago. But yeah, so that's that. But so yeah, if you're thinking of getting CJ on your track, 1, I'll know how much you paid, and 2, I will judge you. But also on the second part of the CJ updates, he's got a new job.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he did also comment on that thing saying he's got a new band that's coming out at some point, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
I don't know who he's going to be working with unless it's the ex-vocalist of Dealer. LOL. What a dickhead.
That would be funny.
I don't think it would be, but when that comes out,
cancelled crew.
The cancel crew. Yeah. He's got a new job. He's cut his hair off, and he now works in real estate.
Not what I was expecting you to say.
A bit of a downgrade.
Apparently,
weird one, because he owns like a tattoo studio and that as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So like, surely he makes enough money. Well, maybe he doesn't.
Maybe
make
he
enough
doesn't.
money from that.
So there you go. But there's also literally an Auntie Donna sketch about real estate agents. They're all cunts.
Oh yeah. Have you ever met them?
Yeah. So good luck, I guess, mate.
Yeah.
I'll be watching intently because this just gives me more things to talk about on my own content.
Yes, we will watch your progress with keen interest. See what you do.
Good luck, sport.
Oh, well,
A little pat on the back.
Keen's probably a bit rich.
I suppose it's more kind of like a
Morbid
morbid.
curious.
Yeah, morbid curious.
God, we've been working together for far too long, mate.
Well,
Whoops.
so speaking of, this is the little tidbit I've got, but speaking of new bands,
right,
apparently this was announced a few months ago, but I've only just noticed.
yeah.
Jay Weinberg is working with the vocalist of Suicidal Tendencies in a supergroup.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
And he's just put out a new thing. We were seeing, back to the Slipknot news.
Oh yeah, well, it's been a while since we've had Slipknot news.
It's not really Slipknot news. So it's a group called, and let me just look it up just to make sure that I get the name right.
Is it a really silly name?
No, it's not. It's called Infectious Grooves,
All right.
Okay.
and it's a
okay.
supergroup consisting of Robert from Metallica.
Oh, Rob
Right.
Trudrea, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
who used to be in Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah, he
a
did,
long time
didn't he?
ago.
Yeah.
You got Mike from Suicidal Tendencies, and I think it's just them three.
Oh, damn.
So it was this was a spin-off from Suicidal Tendencies ages ago.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he was the original, but one of the drummers up until late, which is why Jay's in there now, has basically stopped doing it because it was Brooks Wackerman as of Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, nice. And also, to be fair, I'm pretty sure as of past couple of years as well, in and out, their touring drummer has been Dave Lombardo.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So
it's
it's
I
like,
didn't know that.
Yeah, because what Dave Lombardo, because there's loads of memes about which we'll come on to in a minute.
All
but
right.
There's like I've just seen that of like all the groups that Dave Lombardo's been in since he left Slayer,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just like with just loads of like just named bands, and it's just like he's just having a nice time.
He's just having fun.
So
Just-
I know
yeah.
that. So a weird one for me with Suicidal Tendencies is that because I'm a bit of a drum nerd, I found this drummer on Instagram that basically he did loads of jazz stuff and he's been through. I can't remember. It was one of these like music specific schools in America or whatever. You know,
Like,
Berkeley types.
and
like Berkeley.
type, yeah.
I think it was. I don't think it was Berkeley, but it was like a similar.
One of the
similar-
one of
similar
the,
one
one
to
of the big boy schools.
Yeah, and he did
Real
loads of jazz
school,
stuff, but
yeah.
it was interesting, and he did like covers and that. And then suddenly I see he's joined Suicidal Tendencies. So he's this. So obviously he's like mid-20s. I want to say maybe our age, like at a push, and it's super weird seeing this like super. I mean, it's like a bit of like the Slipknot effect.
Yeah.
In that kind of weird seeing this like super young drummer. Going on tour, suddenly he's on tour with Suicidal Tendencies. That was it. He was wearing the headband and the bandana around his head and everything.
Good for the CV though, isn't it?
It was
Like-
weird, yeah, it was just weird to
touring with
see. But
Suicidal
yeah,
Tendencies.
Is that what you're doing? Well, I went. I got my degree in playing drums, and then I'm touring with that legendary band Suicidal Tendencies, and after that, he'll probably end up in Slipknot.
yeah, probably.
That seems to be the way of it. You'll have a
Yeah.
3-year stint.
At one point,
Become-
everyone will be in Slipknot,
yeah,
and then get
what
fired from Slipknot.
That's what I found out. Is because Jay's posted like footage from them practicing.
Yeah.
basically as Infectious Grooves.
No, that's cool,
So
man.
Jay has found his feet, as we all knew we would,
Of course.
It's gonna be hard, isn't
He
it?
was-
with essentially Suicidal Tendencies Part 2, but with Robert from Metallica.
Yeah, so it's not as if they're going to be struggling to sell out shows, are they?
No, but apparently they've only got like 4 shows booked this year so far.
And all of them will sell out.
Yeah, well, so 2 of them, apparently 2 of them in the US,
Right.
and 2 of them are in Australia.
It's got to be the nice thing about bands of that sort of like pedigree, though.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's
you put
it.
on 4 shows a year and you make enough to sort you out
Yeah,
for the
probably.
year.
Yeah, and they've
you're
definitely-
just jamming for the rest of it. Next summer rolls around, get the boys back on the bus,
Yeah,
But,
play 4 more
like,
shows.
So Jay,
Oh.
Jay he'll probably do this for like a year,
Yeah.
and then
He's gonna get bored.
Suicidal Tendencies will pick up again for like their last stretch, and Jay will find something else to do.
Or he'll end up drumming for Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah, or
Like,
that.
it's like, it's...
It's going to be the most
And the
relaxed
guy,
gig
and
for
the guy
him
in
ever.
Suicidal Tendencies, like you said, will join Slipknot.
like,
It's all just musical chairs, really.
or,
Yeah.
or he'll end up drumming, like filling in for someone like Fit for a King or something. Like,
Yeah.
like, you could just see him just going, "Oh, we need this guy." It's like, "Oh, I know this guy." Diddle diddle diddle, and then it just goes from there.
or fill in, or even like bands of like Slipknot size. So like Disturbed are touring at the minute, for instance, and
Yeah,
stuff like something like that. Like their drummer, Disturbed's drummer will like have some happen to him, or like he will like
They want a day
finally
off or
break
have an
his hip.
injury or something.
Yeah, like
and-
finally his hip will finally give up and it has to be replaced or some shit, and they'd be like, right, who's available?
Yeah,
And like, oh look,
exactly.
Jay Weinberg's available. Let's just get him.
like it is dead easy in it, but it is good though, man. Like it's good that one musicians who basically prove that they are good move on to other projects that
Yeah,
will
absolutely.
be good as
like
well.
being able to move laterally is a massive thing, and being able to jump into like different projects and do different styles. Whereas if you get so tunnel visioned on like one
Well,
style or one thing,
so
you can
he
really
was-
tell
he
those
was-
musicians that like coop themselves up.
He was thrown into the deep end on adapting to situations.
Oh yeah,
because-
yeah, I've heard all this.
Because because his obviously I think we've talked about this before. Because obviously his dad is Max Weinberg off of Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
if you want like the full story of it, like he was on like an episode of the Downbeat, so like
That's
like
I know that, but he was
check
saves
it
us
out,
like
yeah.
but the way-
paraphrasing.
to paraphrase, the way that Springsteen likes to operate is that he goes, right, here's 200 songs, learn them, and I'll pick on the night.
Can you imagine having that many songs in your back pocket?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's also how Hatebreed play.
Is it really?
Hatebreed.
I would have never guessed
do not
that.
use set lists. It's how Jamie Jaster's vibing with the crowd at that point in time.
It's just like you
So
guys are
they
into
have
that.
to
You
know
get one
their
of the
entire
treats.
back catalogue from scratch.
I feel like that's so much easier for some members of that band. Like there's some of them sat there stressing out, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
drummer's just having a heart attack any given show.
But yeah, so
bless
stuff like that. is
Imagine
cool,
if bands like Lorna Shore did that. It's just like, I'm just feeling this one that's just blast beats throughout.
Pick a
and the drum-
tempo, just start blasting. I'm sure it will
to
sound
be
about
fair,
right.
it's like you can tell which bands do not play to click, but there's like those are the bands that can do it. 'Cause it's like we are just all right.
Oh, yeah.
This is it. Song from 20 years ago we've not played in ages. I pop it. Let's like
Yeah, we wouldn't have a chance.
no.
What
Right.
really gets me is when you hear about the bands who you would assume 100% are on a click, but they're just going at like 180 BPM constantly with no click, and it's all just
There's
raw.
I would probably say there's probably only about 3 bands in the world that can do it.
There's like
that
doing
sound-
it well
that
that
sound
don't
like
that sound
they're-
like a tight unit.
That sound
for
like they're on a
sure.
click but aren't.
Yeah.
It's very. I'm not
It's
saying
such
it's
a
I'm not
skill.
saying it's a bad thing, but most of the time it's very easy to tell that if the band are or aren't on a click.
Yeah, it's when you get to like the bigger stages and you've got like a lot more like time in between. Like
Because
sounds kinda coming
even
across
looking at like,
stage
there's
and-
some bands that like to play faster or slower and sort of groove with it because it sounds better.
yeah.
Some bands you can definitely tell are on a click and possibly should be in a modern age.
You can really hear some bands that are like rushing. It's like, why was your 3.5 minute song 1.5 minutes?
Yeah,
where's the rest of the
That's
song?
it.
And there's other bands, and I suppose it's down to the pulse and the drummer.
Yeah,
There's only
the drummer
certain
is key.
drummers that can sit on those tempos and know that they are on those tempos, and
It's like the push and pull of it as well. You get into the high energy bit of the song, right? Make it punch, go a bit faster. But how do you then dial that back? You've then got the adrenaline in you. How do you calm that
so,
down?
So there's
That's-
some bands that it's appealing
the
to
real
see them
pros.
live because of that energy that they bring up in the set. And you can see sometimes a drummer will start a song about 20 BPM too fast, and the guitarist is
he gets a
sweating.
death glare from the guitar. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
We have no idea about that.
Oh dear.
Right. So yeah. So that's cool. Right. I've got 2 more bits that
Okay.
are both equally hilarious.
Let's have it. Go on.
So once again, popular topic of the podcast, Kanye West.
Oh dear.
So he finally dropped his new album,
Of course.
the other week, which unfortunately did not feature the Burzum lookalike album cover.
I'm actually gutted. Like, that is the worst news I've heard all week.
He is selling shirts with the Burzum album cover on it though. Which then some guy from, I think it was some guy on Twitter in Satanic,
saw that.
in Satanic
I think you said
Warmaster,
Satan.
yeah,
Oh,
where one of his mates made a shirt that was the picture of Kanye wearing the Burzum shirt on a shirt where it says Burzum above it. So it's just 2 levels of Burzum.
It's like memeception.
Yeah.
We're just Kanye and
Which-
Burzum.
Honestly, hilarious. Should you actually wear that and for it to exist? No.
Probably not. No.
But yeah, so which also led to Varg tweeting at Kanye.
Oh,
me
no.
tweeting at Kanye
So
West.
Varg
which is-
finally found out.
Varg, which is just a whole new level of thing, which is I'm not okay
It's a
with.
new level of infamy, really, isn't it? Recognised by Varg.
Yeah,
that's quite
Yeah.
quite an
Yeah.
achievement. Well done, Kanye.
Especially for Varg's opinions. You for the audio listeners, I made a very bad face. You could probably tell. But yeah, so anyway, from that, because it also turns out that this album from Kanye is fully independent,
Interesting.
which also realized that Kanye has no idea how anything happens. because he never cleared any of the samples that he used. And obviously, because Kanye's public enemy #1 for chatting about the industry and everybody else, every record label has basically got most of his album wiped off most distribution.
No way.
And also led to one of the people that he sampled Sabbath.
Oh dear.
Whoops.
Sharon Osbourne wasn't impressed.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
shit.
bet.
It was never cleared. So Ozzy Osbourne on his actual Facebook account posted a statement basically saying, I did not clear this sample, and I don't want any of my music associated with anyone who's anti-Semitic. Kanye West can
wasn't
fuck
Ozzy.
off. Oh no, it wasn't.
Of
It
course
was
not.
Ozzy.
That's Ozzy's PR guy. Yeah.
Have you seen Ozzy these days? He's a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's a whole thing. So like, there's essentially beef between the Osbournes and Kanye West.
Of course.
Wow.
And I know who I'm backing in a fight, and it's not Kanye.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be Kanye, but
So
that's crazy.
yeah,
That's
it's
mad.
mental, isn't it? Like, it's
So he's produced his own shit, recorded it, and put this out, and not cleared
not
anything.
authorized to get the samples cleared by anyone's label or anyone's
How?
estate.
How can you make a mistake like that?
No, because he doesn't care.
No.
Like that's his
No.
entire thing. He's just doing his own thing, which is like fair enough from like an art perspective. But the problem is legal.
That's it. The legal world comes down on you like a ton of bricks.
And also,
Sorry.
like, if you think about the record labels that he's toying with are like Warner.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
they and also the
What,
thing,
the Infinite Money record?
yeah,
labels?
yeah, and also like they ain't gonna let Kanye West, who's out here being absolutely like unmedicated and
he's
needs
somewhat
putting
unhinged at
in
the
a
minute. He
home,
needs some help. Yeah, the poor guy.
like they're not gonna let him get away with it because they want to make an example of him, because he also
Yeah, of
has
course.
messed over all these record labels because of what he's done.
They also probably realise he's got enough money for them to juice him for it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, he's probably
See how long that lasts.
he's
but
definitely running out of money.
Yeah.
Because he ain't
Well, he's not selling any records.
Well, he's not selling any records. He doesn't have any of his deals anymore because he got cut from Adidas. He got cut from everything.
Fuck it, hell.
50% of all proceeds now go to the Osbournes.
And also, and not to mention the sheer amount of child support he's got to pay to the Kardashians,
Touche.
Oh,
because he's
shit,
got
yeah.
like three kids with Kim. So like that's child support there as well. And it's like, and it's not regular people child support; it's rich people child support.
This is accustomed to a certain standard of
Yeah,
living child support.
I think it's like something daft by like $100,000 a kid a month.
it's insane.
Like,
yeah.
Madness.
Yeah.
What do those kids need? What?
It's all right. Kim needs a new car,
That's valid. Right.
And amongst other things.
amongst many other things. Yes.
You know, you got to keep the third pool heated.
The fourth one can stay cold. That's just for summer.
Yeah. That's the outdoor pool. I mean, they're probably all outdoor pools or indoors and everything. But yeah, so right. Anyway, on to the last bit. In an unprecedented thing of things that are not metal that should be held into by our greaters and the people and those that came before us, Slayer have returned.
Excuse me.
There is a festival that was announced in America where
Oh
every
no,
band is
I
playing
saw this.
Slayer.
Is this on the Mad
Actual-
Lion? Is this on the festival that seemingly has more money than anything?
It's not the Vegas one, but it's one of the other ones because it's like the headliners are like Avenged, Slayer, Slipknot. Like it's like 4 days of like every band.
But it still seems so strange they'd come back for a show after hanging it up and being so sick of touring.
It gets worse.
Oh dear.
So
Because what other bands haven't done that?
Well, yeah,
it's
there
almost
is
like
that.
it's the PR stunt.
Yeah.
We were just speaking about Ozzy and Sabbath.
Very true.
I was just doing one final show in Birmingham, and I never even looked at the ticket prices, and I don't want to know. And also, I feel like it will be a bit of a letdown.
I feel like it's
I
the one.
saw
one artist that I'm
Sabbath,
gonna miss
and
it.
then that was it. Like that's how I'm remembering Sabbath as good. I'm not going to
Don't ruin it for yourself. Yeah.
Especially because Sabbath were like one of the first metal bands I got into. So a week prior to this, Kerry King, with his solo project, which is just called Kerry King,
Yeah.
the most inventive. There's no need, man. Just come up with something. You're in Slayer.
Well, he did. He just stopped the 2Ks round, didn't he?
Yeah, he's just yeah. But yeah, so he finally released a single, and it's got the vocalist from some other band that I've forgotten the name of that I don't listen to, and Paul Bostaph drumming, I think it is.
Okay.
who was in Slayer after they kicked out Lombardo because whatever.
Suppose it's not like Chris Adler or so on.
Nah, Chris Adler can't do that anymore, and he's got his hard rock band.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Dad
but
rock
yeah,
post
so
notice
first
like
of all,
accident, yeah.
my review of the Kerry King single for the man who was in Slayer, who came up with it's Slayer, right?
Yeah.
Complete mid,
Oh,
just mid across the board.
I can kind of see that. To be
Not a
honest.
singular good riff. The production just didn't feel just hard enough. It just sounded just so lazy.
Like Slayer was the whole gang being angry, being pissed, and having like the world to fight
Slayer.
against. That's it,
Like,
right?
why is there only
was-
one band where
there's
people just
the
stand
embodiment
at
of it.
festivals and just scream Slayer because it's Slayer?
That's it. It's got that energy to it. Whereas if I can see it, if he's putting out a solo album, it's like it's just Kerry King. It's just his take
imagine
on
the same
Slayer,
guys going
right?
instead of standing at a festival at the bar or something like that.
Yeah.
all of them wearing their denim jackets with patches all over, and a big Slayer thing on the back, going Kerry King.
Kerry! Oh, it's like when you're having a shit divorce. She's turned the Waynes against us.
I'm gonna have to start just yelling Kerry at inopportune.
Oh my god, that's going to become a bit, isn't it? Oh, God. To anyone who sees us again, I'm so
Kerry!
sorry. Kerry! It's like a bloody Toast of London bit, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, it's
proper
definitely good.
Right.
Matt Berry.
proper Matt Berry bit. Right, so Slayer come back, right? Most of the internet's gone. Why? We were happy with the fact that Slayer were
you
done.
called it well.
We
You're
don't
getting
want
old,
Slayer
pack
to
it in.
become shit. Like, let's just Slayer. Because I saw them at the last time they played Download, and it was Slayer.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. Slayer are done. They finished. It was a good set. We're out.
Yep.
You know. And Kerry King then took to the internet. He's not been asked about it.
It's Slayer minus Kerry.
So, which
I'm sorry, the
means
guy that made Slayer. Well, he made the riffs.
One of the three, wasn't it? Yeah.
it might just be Tom and friends.
Okay.
It raises a lot of questions but the thing is, like, Gary Holt's still in Slayer because Gary Holt's missus took to the internet to go, well, if you're unhappy about it, don't go, which is a very valid point.
very fair point. Yeah,
And
sure.
so we know that the current members of Slayer are Gary Holt and Tom Araya. Where is Kerry King in all this? We don't know.
That's crazy.
Imagine
Yeah.
the band that you were in for all of your life that is who you are essentially, and then they reform and don't tell you.
I suppose you never really know how like the contracts and stuff
Oh,
like that
no,
played
that's the
out at
thing,
the end,
man.
right? It's like, you know, if the other guys had the contract, they held the name to it, and they want to start it up, and Kerry was being, I'm not going to put words in his
Well, yeah,
mouth, but if he
it's-
was being like a bit of a sloth
like
about
all
it and
this-
saying, I don't want to play it, then
The
why
thing
would
is,
they
like,
not just push on, you know?
Kerry King was on record as soon as Slayer split up. He was like, I understand why Slayer split up because the other guys didn't want to do it, but I want to carry on playing music.
That's even worse then. So he was up for it,
That's
and
why
they've like circumvented him on this reform.
well, that's why he's the one who's
Yeah.
got a side project and stuff together.
Of course, he
yeah,
still wanted
that's-
to
yeah,
tour
true.
and
He
play
wants to
music,
still-
right? Yeah.
Play music, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe they heard the side project and went, nah.
And it
Maybe
would,
they
and
actually
to be
just put one
fair,
of his solos on like solo and listen to it through and thought.
let's be real. Half of the Kerry King live set will just be like Rain in Blood, Edgeland. It will be.
Oh, yeah,
Slayer's.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like when Slash tours as Slash, you still get songs like Sweet Child of Mine and Paradise
It's like
City and
40% Guns N' Roses, and
Yeah.
then 60% is solo stuff, and then like 50%, and then like 10% of like Snake Pit.
Well, yeah, because
or Velvet Revolver.
Oh,
oh yeah, like,
Yeah,
all,
yeah,
like
yeah.
all,
There's-
all the bangers.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, you cherry pick the best ones, whereas Kerry's probably like still playing a bunch of the Slayer songs. But yeah,
The only one that people ever actually want to hear that
I am
aren't
actually gonna-
huge fans of Slayer is Raining Blood.
that's it. Yeah, is like let's call him a normie. If you're not like
To
into
be
Slayer,
fair,
the
as-
one you
as-
know is Raining
As someone
Blood,
who's
right?
never really been a fan of Slayer, the only song I actually know is Raining Blood.
Shout out Tony Hawk's Underground.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like I
And any other metal club night I've ever been to ever.
Yeah, touche. Yeah, it's for some reason they'll put like Raining Blood on at 2 a.m. It's like this will cheer everyone up.
Okay, I've now actually pulled up the actual like full lineup for his new band. So
All
it's
right.
Paul Bostaff from Slayer on drums, the bassist Carl Sanders from Hell Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro!
I didn't realize this actually happened. He's got Phil Demmel,
Ooh, that's a name I've not heard.
so I assume that song was written before Phil Demmel joined because Phil Demmel is a good guitarist. and the vocalist Mark Asuga from Death Angel. That was the band I reckon. I never listened to.
Death Angel was quite a throwback as well. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's a throwback.
That is a throwback.
The producer is Josh Wilbur, who's previously worked with Korn, Lamb of God, Avenged Sevenfold, and Bad Religion. So
it's like it's geared up to be fucking good.
It's geared up to be
like,
good.
This actually sounds promising.
Like I think you've got all these big names and stuff, but the first I'll send we'll whack it on after we finish because I want to watch your live reaction. It was just so underwhelming as a guy like because that's the main thing in metal, because there are the big four of thrash.
Yeah,
everyone aligns with one of those bands as their favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Bing is Megadeth because he's wrong.
Megadave. Who's Dave?
What's yours, James, of the big four?
It's Metallica for sure. Well, actually, it's a toss-up. Metallica versus Anthrax is like between
you actually
the two.
pick Anthrax?
Like they were like in the car a lot as I was growing up.
Oh,
so it's
right.
like it's like been brought up with me.
Right. Yours is like
But if I had to like pick one on just like calling out songs name by name, it's Metallica hands down.
Yeah, I mean Metallica like absolutely valid.
Yeah,
Alex.
None of them. I am Big Four adjacent.
You are Big Four adjacent
in Slipknot, because everyone remembers the lineup of whatever Sonosphere or whatever the that lineup was, where it was the Big Four and Slipknot. I was like,
Sonosphere.
Yeah,
that was the
I was there, man. That was
that's why I kind of like half associate Slipknot with the Big Four.
All right, got
because that lineup, and so I am Slipknot over the rest of those.
Yeah, and shocking no one, mine is Slayer, because I like things that are fast and scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that. So yeah, that's the thing. It's one of those. It's like when you see like big names and you know super groups and stuff, you're like, this should absolutely bang, and then it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
So, but there we go.
And you get some that are just fucking amazing. Like I think, this might be a controversial one, but like this is maybe 7 or 8 years ago. But when Axe Wound happened, and you had like Cancer Bats and Bullets, right? That was one that I was so worried.
You mean Bullet, but with good vocals?
hey, less of that in here. No, but for real, like Axe Wound was one of those where I was just going into college and like it just pops out. And I thought this is going to be either the best or the worst thing I've ever heard. Yeah, and it was just
shame about that. Shame about that. They didn't really think about the name though, did they?
No. The name was a bit.
Axe Wound has a different. Yeah.
For our American listeners, that means vagina.
They probably know that, but yeah, Axe Wound has a different meaning.
You could join the dots. But that was fucking phenomenal. That was a really good.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Did you ever see them live?
I didn't. No, I didn't actually get to see them.
I've seen both.
I can see that grin. I know.
I've seen both sides of it live. I've seen Bullet and I've seen Cancer Bats.
Yeah, no. So
it's basically the same
both
thing.
Really good live bands on their own right as well.
This happened. Really because it was like the drummer from Pitch Shifter, the bassist from Glamour of the Kill, and obviously Matt Tuck being Matt Tuck.
Everyone, the only members that everyone ever remembered being in Axe Wound were Matt Tuck and Liam from Cancer Bats.
Didn't they have one of the guys from Rise to Remain, or am I making that up?
No, I think you're making it up.
Don't know what I'm thinking of then. Never mind.
Maybe check that one for you.
But yeah, so they obviously came out and then they just announced a random show at Rescue Rooms.
Oh, nice.
So I was just on the barrier watching this happen, like, oh my god. It's a shame that they never put out another album because they were like...
Well, it's one of the things I've kind of come back and said is like, we'd love to do it, but at the same time, we're all in big bands in our own right at this point. It's really hard to circulate and then to have fun with it, because I think it was like a perfect point for those kind of bands where it's like Kerrang and Scuzz and everyone was pulling a lot of those bands together.
No, that's
and then they were able to just be like, well, we're in like the same kind of cities all the time. Let's do it.
An interesting good supergroup. Anyone remember Prophets of Rage?
Yes.
Which was Rage Against the Machine times Cypress Hill.
It was a banging project.
Never really vibed. I mean, I never saw it live at festivals and stuff, but I never vibed with it because I've never really been into Cypress Hill, and I like Rage Against the Machine, but like,
to be fair, most of the live sets were basically different versions of Cypress Hill songs or Rage Against the Machine songs, but with Rage Against the Machine, but with Cypress Hill on vocals, or Cypress Hill, but with Rage Against the Machine on the backing.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
It really was just like a crossing of worlds. Like,
yeah,
it could have sounded like either
that was an
band
interesting
at any given
one.
point.
So
but
I'm trying to think of like what other like sick supergroups there are out there.
Like a lot of them just kind of fell flat. There have been some banging duos. Like
there was
Dream Theater.
Dream Theater on a supergroup.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Were they formed as a supergroup?
I'm sure they were.
No, they've
I
just
didn't
been
think they were
Dream
independent
Theater.
musicians. I thought they were like Berkeley buddies, and
They were
like,
just a
shared
bunch of
bunk
nerds
and-
who just formed a prog band. They're not a supergroup.
Oh no! Well, no. I think later on they became a bit more
Well,
of
yeah,
a supergroup
because
they.
Portnoy left, the
Yeah.
vocalist left, and then they got a different vocalist. They got
and the-
Portnoy's now back, and the original vocalist is now back. But apparently,
Yeah.
the original vocalist can't sing.
Oh, okay.
anymore.
No, so later on, because
The
I know
original
that
vocalist
there was.
ass. Like,
I know that
Yeah.
there was some
hot
big
take there.
I
names.
can't remember. Like, I don't. I like 2 Dream Theater songs, and then my fucking ADHD ass just can't hack anything over like.
Give me like a
Remix.
Dream Theater album without the vocals in it, and I'm all over it. Like, just give me the instrumentals. But like I said, I can't,
No,
I can't
no,
hack
you
it
are
with the
right. But I
vocals.
know that there was like a big when Mike Portnoy left.
Yeah,
There was like a
the-
huge audition process with some big names.
Oh yeah.
I was
because
watching some of the
because
videos for
they
that.
got, Mike Nangini.
Mike Mangini.
Mike Mangini in, yeah,
There
because
was
he's also insane.
Some
Yeah.
big names applied for that whole thing. They watched
Yeah,
it.
they
Like
did.
I think they did a whole YouTube series on
I'm
the
sure
people
they
that were
did, yeah.
interviewing, and they gave them like a day's notice. It's like basically like learn all these songs, show up in this hotel. We'll tell you which ones we're playing tomorrow. Then you'll go and practice those in your hotel room with a practice pad. We'll catch you there. And then it was like whittling people down, and they'd already picked like 5 of the best in the
But
fucking world.
I think the
and then
reason
whittled them down.
I'd probably one would probably confuse them for a supergroup is because they were so anal about getting the best members. They were like, we want the best metal musicians out there to form a
Well, it's
prog metal band.
It's valid though because Dream Theater are not an easy band to play.
No.
Like you can't just have some bloke. You have to have someone who is like so horrendously good and knows kit. They probably have to know a fair bit of theory, and they have to be
A
comfortable
lot of
with just
theory.
time signatures going all over the place.
It's like you've got the technical aspect of actually being able to perform it, like you said, the whole theory and understanding side of it, and then the bit that would like make me shit my pants is like imagine being in a room with those guys and saying we're just gonna jam, let's see what you do, and then somebody busts out like I don't know, like a fucking 7/8 rhythm, and then like the keyboard is going off on his own little solo. It's like yeah, just fitting in
And
here.
thinking about it,
0, 2, 3 short.
Yeah.
It's all I can do.
if you think about it as well, with how long Dream Theater have been going, this brings up to the earlier topic we had. Dream Theater have been going for that long. They predate click tracks, which means
Yeah,
Hands down.
absolutely. Yeah.
which means
Yeah,
Dream
yeah,
Theater do
They
not
are-
play
they,
to click.
They are probably
They are
one of.
fucking legit. Yeah.
To be fair, along those same lines, one of the other bands that probably don't play to click tracks, but you probably won't be able to tell, is they've seen footage of Rush.
Oh yeah,
Rush, yeah.
Rush.
yeah.
God damn,
Rush
I
are
love-
ridiculous.
I am a big fan of Rush. Not
Honestly,
like
I'm so
all the
sad I
ambit,
saw
like
them.
2112 is an album I do go back to on the reg because that.
See, I
that
don't.
is
Don't
good.
listen to them that much, but I do know that like
Yeah.
they have a pedigree behind.
Yeah,
Like,
it's Rush.
Yeah.
Like you just like Portnoy. Neil Peart
Yeah.
has just like the massive drum kit.
oh
with-
yeah, no,
which-
he's the guy for the. He is like the big drum kit
and it
guy.
spans 3 time zones.
Yeah.
You could do a full 360 and still be hitting kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that random Family Guy bit where they had the Cheetos cheater just rack up a line and go, yeah, Russia, Neil Peart's the best drummer ever. it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no
it
arguments
is.
from me.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
why that's the bit, but it's right.
It's just Family Guy, isn't it?
It's just Family Guy. It's just like, I mean, I'm
Let's take the nearest trope we can do and grab it. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like other massive supergroups because like there was Hell Yeah, which were like all right.
No, yeah.
Like, I
ones
saw-
that I properly vibed with, not many at all.
Yeah, because
There
like, the
were-
only thing about of Hell Yeah is because it's Vinny goddamn Paul on the drums. And the vocalist from Mudvayne. I love
Oh,
Mudvayne.
Mudvayne.
are
There's a
band
good
that
name.
Definitely get slept on,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
ironic
that's
because they're
what.
massive.
What would you? What's the threshold for classing it as a supergroup? Because there's a lot of bands actually, again, revolving around Rage Against the Machine, that are like the band but another vocalist, and they're suddenly a different band.
Okay, I wouldn't call it a supergroup if it's basically a backing band where it's basically the backing band with a different vocalist.
Right, okay.
You are just that band with a different vocalist because it's like you can supergroups consist of members of multiple bands that are of enough known. Because if you think of like small,
Yeah.
I say quote unquote smaller bands, End.
Yeah.
And
And
still-
are a
in
supergroup.
fact, I was
Technically a
about
supergroup, but I wouldn't
along
go at
those
that
lines
level.
because it's basically similar. I know that all those bands sort of like close one another.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a band called Tradewind?
No,
I've heard of them.
Which is
They're another proggy one,
like a
right?
soft
It's like-
rock / indie kind of like grungy band, and
Is
it's
that one of Tom's bands?
yeah. So it's Tom Williams from Straight from the Path. It's Jesse from Stick to Your Guns, who also plays guitar in it, but he sings. There's no harsh there's like minimal harsh vocals, and I mean like the odd like break out into a scream here or there.
It's like,
Yeah.
Like early emo core where it's mostly crying and sobbing. It's like if you think like
it's kind of
MCR
like
era of like emo where it's like mostly like kind of clean screaming, but then when it actually hits,
it's bordering on like Midwest emo.
It's a bit like a bit of a fry, but there's not as much oomph behind it.
Yeah, you've got it. They've not figured out their diaphragm yet.
It's dynamic.
Me when I was 14.
It's dynamically singing to a point where like your voice would like break a little bit, but because he screams, he does it well.
Yeah, no, that's
it's like an actual voice.
No, that's cool,
man.
man.
Like
so that's one of my favorite supergroups actually. Tradewind. If you've not listened to them and you like your sadder stuff, I know you do, Steev.
I'm good. It's going in the notes now.
I would add it to one of those to listen to. Tradewind are a very good band. And I can't remember where the drummer and the bassist are from, but they are. I know that they're in the scene, and they are because they're into like, well, not because they're into, but they're into like their metal and they've been metal musicians for a while. It's like overly technical for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah,
like the drummer's just
every
ridiculous.
so often they'll just flex and be like, here you go.
I mean, if you think about it, and like this is like something that I have joked about previously, but I'm put it onto record now, which is just to show the kind of person that I am. If you think about it, of like really local bands no one's heard of, like Wolves are technically a supergroup.
Hold on, I'm gonna need this explaining to me. Go on.
So so this is really, really local knowledge.
This is like absolutely fucking stupid because like
besides,
I've been playing in the scene for a very long time.
Yeah,
in multiple bands.
I've been playing.
Alex has played in series all the time.
In fact, besides James, all of us have been. Well, James went down a bit of a different route, but
I went down the wedding band route.
I
had an interesting few years.
You were in Kick the Rabbit at one point.
I was.
And we were all in Kick the Rabbit at one point.
The gym experience. The gym experience. I actually played for Kick the Rabbit on one show.
I played synth for Kick the Rabbit on one show, and I played Vuvuzela in the gym experience.
Vuvuzela followed by its stage smash.
This is like, this is like really, really local knowledge because you were in a band with Connor.
Yep.
So you and Connor have been a band for as long as you've been playing music.
Connor's only a drummer because I rolled up one day and went, "Yo, wouldn't it be fun if we started a band?"
That's basically how I got into guitar. I was like, yeah. Do you want to try?
I've been in various bands throughout the scene.
I've been in various bands, and also
we've
like helped other bands.
We've been back through old gig posters and been like, yeah, we were both on that show together, looking at Bing and some of his bands from Derby and everything like that. Yeah, because like looking back on posters, we're like, we were on a show together. Like
Broadley's been in a few small bands.
He has,
Bing was big in Derby.
In fact, I was in one of Broadley's old bands.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how I knew you guys was through Broadley. I was in that band for about 4 weeks, and then we never did anything.
Which one was that?
Forever. It was a band called Forever Fallen.
Okay,
and it consisted of me. Well, they had many drummers, right?
They had many drummers because when I was working as a apprentice sound engineer fucking many moons ago, they played at the venue I was working at.
Yeah,
and because I knew one of the guys in it, and it was like, oh, this is Brady. This is the like. And that's when I met Aaron, who was also in Wolves for a bit playing bass.
Yep.
Okay. This all comes full circle, right? Now I'm seeing it.
It also consisted of Chase, who was also in Wolves Don't Sleep.
Who is in Beyond Your Design now. So,
so we've all just worked. But essentially, by that logic, yes, Wolves Don't Sleep is a
theoretically a super group.
It's a local. What do you class as a super group?
It's a local super group. I like to see it as it's finally finding its final form.
Yeah.
We've adapted.
Might I start fucking around on PR campaigns and referring to it as a super group for a laugh? Yeah, why not?
Why not? You've heard it here first.
This is the hard release on the podcast.
Hard release. So, I mean, you can just label anything. There are no rules. Like, just do what you want. Like, it's fine. But yeah, so I think we're gonna have to come away from this and actually look up supergroups and be like, and have like a tier. That could be one thing, a tier list of supergroups.
Oh,
that would be grand. Yeah,
we can do that as a content idea.
100.
So look forward to that video coming soon. We'll do it as a video. I think it's better as a video because then we can bring up like the tier list creative kind of thing.
I'll get a whiteboard
yeah,
going
we
and
could
we'll
actually-
fill it all
yeah,
in.
yeah,
We'll
and
do
do
it
it
on
in
that.
like screen record and face cam everything
Yeah,
and
and
what have you.
we'll get angry at each other when we realise that no
But
one
yeah.
has a goddamn clue what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
I
Cool.
like it. Let's do it.
So I think
So moving on. All right. Well, I'll move it on to the last section then, which is this is one for our guest James, who's kind of just operated as like a third host for the entire time. But
Yeah,
we'll come on to the guest episode thing. I've just called it Make a Band
Okay.
because we're going to make a band, but not how you think. So loads
Right.
of people go, speaking of supergroups, we're not going to make a supergroup because you would normally go, oh, this person I'll have on drums, this person I'll have on bass. So we're going to make a metalcore band because we are a metalcore band and this is loosely metalcore based.
I don't know. James might want to create a harsh grind band.
Do you want to create a harsh grind band?
I'll stick to the metalcore.
Yeah.
I appreciate the shout out though.
Yeah.
Next time, yeah. Sludge coming
Well,
up.
so I'll say like metalcore. You can push it into deathcore if you want because there are
Right,
similarities.
We can have
Oh
some
my
heavy,
god! I just
twinges.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back onto the fucking supergroup tangent. I just thought of one. I just remembered one.
Oh, that one that like the 9 vocalists did or whatever.
What?
No, the one with like Will Ramos and like the guy from Spy.
No.
or-
That sucked. That project sucked. You've also got to be. We'll come on to that. But no.
Anyway,
promise
when
when
you
they didn't
said
mean it.
sludgy, reminded me of a band that are a bit sludgy and have riffs and are a supergroup.
Okay.
Down.
Oh,
Down, yeah. Oh, actually, no.
wait, was that a collab group?
Yeah, because it was like some of the guys from like Crowbar and Anselmo.
You know more than me.
Yeah,
Jeez, I
mate.
just figured that was its own.
Okay,
little thing.
after this, okay. Minus the fact that Phil Anselmo is a terrible person. This is not about his vocals in the band. The riff. I'm gonna show you the riff for life after this.
We've seen Down.
Yeah, we have. That's
Because
what's surprising me.
Because
As
the
I've
only
seen
reason,
them a couple
the
of
only reason we
times.
realised that Down was on stage when me and you were at Download together is because we could smell that they were on stage.
Yes. Yeah, you can.
yeah,
You can see the wee cloud smoke like rising.
like smoke started rising from the crowd and we looked up and went, oh, Down are on stage. That
I have
makes
found my
sense.
people. I will be right over.
Hell yeah, motherfuckers, get this riff in. Dun, dun, dun.
Wait, it's a standard day at Bloodstock. Just find any of the stoner bands in the tent. Just stinks. Just hang
Yeah.
out all day.
It's like, why is there fog at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in August?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Anyway,
So let me explain the concept to you. So instead of picking members, we're just going to take different elements from different bands.
Yep.
Sponsor here.
No sponsors today.
So we're going to take
you,
different
pay me.
elements from different bands. So a couple rules about it.
All right.
We're going to try not to pick the same band for each one.
Yeah.
So you can't just say your favourite band every single time.
Yeah. So.
And that's about the only rule.
Okay. Cool. So it's got to be.
and the other
variety.
thing is that I've got a bunch of categories written down, but if you think of another category that would work, you can throw it in there.
Yeah. Okay.
and how about also as like an additional rule? You pick a band and it's locked in, but if you get to another category and you want to do a swapsy, but you only get one.
Oh,
Okay.
So, like-
one old switcheroo.
Yeah, you're allowed
Oh,
one
like
switch.
bands for these next categories then.
Yeah, you're allowed to
Okay.
tag out one band. So you go, actually, you know what? This band
would
would
be-
do better
And so-
here, and
but-
I've got to tag in another band.
But we'll talk you through it.
Oh, this is where
and
you
like
guys are gonna find out how little
we can
bands
go
I
backwards
listen
and
to.
forwards about it, and we can make suggestions if you're not really.
All right.
But
Cool. Let's roll.
so I'll
Let's
read
get
down the category list so that you just have. So starting with rhythms, and then melodies, and then choruses, and then your technicality, songwriting, important one for metalcore breakdowns,
Yep.
production.
Okay.
So that is like studio production.
All right.
What they
yeah.
sound like overall,
So you
like sound like on.
Oh, this is going to be really hard.
for that one though, you can technically go like use it as an example.
So-
like Lamb of God have had multiple different producers.
Yeah.
You could literally go right. I specifically
Yeah.
want the production of Lamb of
I
God
like
on
this
Wrath.
album. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
this album. Or if you know any producers that you like the sound of, such as like Nolly or Will. I've forgotten his fucking last name.
Will Putney.
Will Putney, yeah.
Yeah.
Those kind of things, or you can go like, I like the sound of this band in this area. That's the one where will allow you like a grey area for
All right.
the sound of a band on. The final two things are like your performance,
Okay.
and a social presence.
Okay, that's going to be the hardest one.
So the reason I like this is because it asks you like what your preferences are in music, and then I say
you're
we're
going to
making.
make me
I,
think. Yeah, this is
I
gonna be
say
hard.
we're making a metalcore band, but it doesn't mean you can choose all metalcore artists. So, for
Yeah.
instance, like rhythms, for instance, you can pick out like a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Or that kind of thing, or like choruses, you can be like, oh, I want the choruses of a pop artist, that kind of thing.
I want to force Michael Ackerfeld to do a mosh call.
What would you have his mosh call be? Or would you leave that up to his own free will? Just
Up
say
to
whatever
his-
the fuck you want, my
Up to
guy.
his
You've
own
got
free
this.
will. Take that, man in the dark throne shirt.
So yeah, and the reason I didn't tell you
We're
about it
never
is
go-
because it makes you think on your feet, and it allows us to discuss
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you could have came written with like a set of notes and been like this, and it would be like a 5-minute section, and I don't want that. So
Yeah, no, this is
The worst thing is like I
gonna be
keep
hard.
dunking on people who like metal elitists. If the organizer of Bloodstock ever listened to this podcast, we're
We are
never playing
fucked.
that goddamn
Yeah,
festival.
we're screwed.
Guys.
But it's also the other thing is like we know Bossman doesn't listen to these because he's not called us out on anything that we've said, or he does listen to it,
and we're fine,
we're fine.
somehow.
So if you're listening,
So, Bossman,
Bossman,
if you are
love
listening
you.
Hey, boss man.
Drop
If
us a
you're not-
text. Let us know if we said anything too sketchy, and we will pretend we didn't see your text. Yes.
In a bit.
And then I get put through a table.
Yep. People's elbowed through it.
People's elbow.
Anyway, right. So we can do these in different orders, but I felt like
I
that
think
was
if
a
you
good
just,
order
just
to do
hit
things.
it, and I
So
will try.
we'll start with rhythms. So who are you picking for? Who has like your favorite rhythms or like the best rhythms? What do you want in this like magical
rhythm
metalcore band?
sectioner.
Maybe not going so techie, but like I'd definitely be looking towards like bands like Monuments and Tesseract, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
where it's like kind of like a lot of the time it feels like you've got a really steady rhythm, but a lot of the time you just
Okay,
thrown off by
yeah.
it. It's really groovy, really kind of chunky.
So all right, okay. So Monuments we're going.
yeah, let's go with
go
that.
on
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right. So the rhythm of Monuments. So followed by your melodies. So it could mean less to you. So for example, you could say the melodies of Kublai Khan,
Yeah.
which are ones
Dun,
and
dun,
zeros.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and some pitch harmonics, right? Or you could go with the melodies of like some like periphery
Of
releases.
Dream
Dream
Mate,
Theater.
You
where
ready
the
for a bit of a
guitars are, like,
dive?
up and down the neck and everything like that. Or
You know, straight up, honestly, if I was going to pick out melodies, like the band that stuck with me the most forever has been Funeral for a Friend.
yeah,
For a very,
Alright.
like, a
Yeah, no,
throwback
fair
to
enough.
some very
No,
early
that's
kind of
good.
like
That's a good fucking
the early branch of metalcore, but they had some
it's a
banging
good-
melodies
good
and
one.
harmonies going on.
Fair enough. So the rhythms of this is shaping up to be an interesting one.
Yeah,
already.
yeah, I would love to see what this
the
actually sounds like.
rhythms of Monuments with the melodies of Funeral for a Friend, right? Followed by the choruses.
There's going to be some very confused emo kids out there.
Oh,
So again, you could have like your big singy choruses,
I think that would be the one. Yeah,
like
'cause you got-
akin to like Beartooth or
Yeah.
like whoever, or you could again be like Scrooge choruses. I want breakdowns all the time, and have Alpha Wolf.
an Alpha Wolf chorus. I don't think I've heard one of those.
To be fair,
They've got some like melodic stuff,
their
man.
new one, Sucks to Suck, with Ice-T.
No, and
Oh,
also,
you know what? That one wrecks.
actually
Yeah, that's
does
a really
actually
good
does have like a chorus in it because it's a section that's repeated
and
or
also
at least once.
60 centimeters of steel because they got Lucas from Holding Absence on it.
Oh yeah, but that's because it's got Holding Absence on it.
Yeah, but that's
Anyway.
that's it.
I'm going
So-
to use one of my fallbacks for the choruses because it will tie those two bands together nicely as well, and that's going to be Polaris. They just have
Yeah.
huge, big, open-sounding
Nice.
choruses.
Valid.
They lean
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
gent side, and they
absolutely.
can jump between the two styles.
I'm
so
fairly
easily.
certain we had either Connor or Berry say Polaris on the choruses as well.
They just write such good hooks, and then they lead it into the chorus. It's just you could really tie all that
Sound,
together.
yeah.
Yep.
Right, so yeah,
Monument
it's
rhythms.
shaping up
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
well.
we're getting-
Technicality. Again, I keep using Kublai Khan as an
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
and I
The
always-
reason for
and I
that
always
is
say
on
that.
the drive over, we just listened to Kublai Khan.
but also, if you think simple, heavy band, like the simplest of riffs and the simplest of ideas, Kublai Khan are that. They're great at doing it,
They're
but
just
they
really
are
good
the
with
simple.
what they do. Yeah.
They are the simple riffs and ideas. But to go to the other end of that, you could have the technicality of like Tesseract, or like Animals as leaders.
I think I'm a solid midway. Technicality, for one, people would know comfortably. Would be
It doesn't have
like,
to be things people
No,
know.
no,
You just
it's
pick
like-
whatever you want, baby.
Yeah, man.
I'm try-
Throw in some unknown bands, shout them out or something.
oh gosh, unnamed bands. Yeah, no shot.
Whoever you want to pick,
Who
like
was Austin Dickey's band for ages ago? No, not Austin.
I don't know.
You mean Bruce Dickinson's?
Bruce Dickinson's kid.
Are you thinking of Rise to Remain?
Oh,
It was,
Rise to
well, that was Rise to
That's
Remain,
the-
wasn't
yeah,
it?
that was right. That was
yeah.
Rise to
Mate, they
Remain.
were fucking.
Mate, they were so ahead of their time.
like that band. If they'd put out more than that first album, like that.
It's because the guitarist didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
He
but they
basically
were
did it,
like
then he just went-
so good in
And
terms
then
of
the
like
drummer joined Mode Step.
like phenomenal in like terms of like the technicality and then blending all the metalcore stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It was going to be that or leaning into like As I Lay Dying, where it's like straight just metalcore kind of like chunky bouncing
Nice,
like
nice.
riffs.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I've worked it out. Rise to Remain were essentially a type of metalcore that is now essentially what Fit for a King are.
Yeah, effectively
Yeah, yeah.
they were like that, but 5-10 years prior.
Yeah, it's the same
they were
as
so
like,
good.
There's
And
the
they're
same
now
as like
As Lions or something, I think.
yeah, as Lions. Which
Yeah,
is just-
yeah.
He- which is just like-
they
it's
changed
so-
it, and then
It's
it
because
went
they
away
lost.
and-
It's because that guitarist,
He was so
he was
good.
far too good. He just went, I don't want to do it anymore. And then it just wasn't the
Yeah,
same because that
absolutely.
one bloke was absolutely shredding.
Every single one of their songs started with a riff and like some heavy ass drums, and it was
Nice.
always that got me into it.
Yes,
and I was
on
like,
like
it's
the same-
technical
This-
enough to like grab you.
To be fair, this is shaping up to be a really cool one from you, man. I'm
All right, cool.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
on the same vein of like that kind of metalcore and stuff, there's a band that never get any half enough of the credit that they deserve, and they're basically on hiatus at the moment because the guitarist is in Fit for a King.
All right.
Phineas.
Yeah, I was thinking of
Mate,
Phineas when you
absolute-
talked about like really riffy metalcore.
That's
like,
going on my phone. I'll
Oh,
check that one
we'll
out.
show. We'll add it to
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing. We'll show you
There's
how to
others
make.
to get it.
Phineas are like you will love.
You would
them.
love Phineas.
It's just
Okay.
It's not just riff. It's like
It's
diddly
like-
diddly diddly diddly
It's,
like
it's diddly shreddy metalcore, but it's not like showy offy.
All right, cool. That's another one to the list.
mate. They generally. I'm so sad that they never got as big as they should have because they should be on tour with bands like Fit for a King now because they would just slot right in.
Yeah,
To be fair, they would fit well in with like Error.
Yeah,
Error would be
that's
so
what I've sat in
good.
my back pocket. Error in my
Oh,
pocket.
they dropped a new album, didn't they? I've not listened to it yet.
It's
But
good. Yeah. Do check.
So anyway, technicality of Rise to Remain.
Yeah.
Songwriting. Now, this could be like how they compose individual songs or how they compose an entire work.
Yeah,
So,
that's an
like-
interesting one.
Like an entire album or EP or whatever whatever.
That one's tricky.
So like the songwriting ability of, I would say.
Yeah.
So you pick who do you like the songwriting of? And again,
At the minute, like
you could not care as much about songwriting as other people would,
yeah,
or you could care loads
you know,
and say
I'd say like I really like the modern. Again, I'm going to call it like a fairly staple one for me, but there's a reason I stick to him. And Sleeps
Well, she
do
sleeps.
really banging
to be fair,
songwriting.
for this category. I had that in my head for you because I know what you like.
Yeah, there's like their style, the way that Sean and the guys like write the actual like melodies and like
Yeah.
play around with that. And in the earlier stuff, when you're looking at like the North and like the earlier albums, and
North
This
stands
Is
for
the Six,
nothing. And like,
they had
yeah.
like a full arc over the album and over the releases.
yeah,
There's
they
like a
have
story
to.
told
They've-
throughout it.
To be fair,
Modern days, it's been a bit more like drop in, drop out. Here's the singles. They're playing the game with like modern releases.
But they have done it. They have done it pretty well.
I think so.
Even
yeah,
more
yeah.
recently, like I think recently, like their songwriting, song to song, is very good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
less so on the album, but like the earlier albums did have like an overarching.
that's it.
thing.
Yeah, if you look at like you said, going back to the earlier albums, like the North and stuff like that. Around that era, they were doing like full album marks, whereas now
nice.
they are playing the game of like in and out. We're going to tell you the whole story in one song, and that kind of comes across with like their visual side
Yeah,
as well.
their-
A lot of the
their
videos
recent
and
one
stuff
that
that
they
Aaron's
dropped,
doing.
was it
To the Flowers.
To the Flowers,
Mate,
which
punch
were-
you in the gut.
Yeah,
But
which was a whole
the songwriting
like, short
and the
film.
meaning behind it. Fuck yeah, I'm here for
I
it.
can't think if I watched it or watched the video or not. 'cause
It's like
It's
like
sad,
in the
man,
last
that's it,
week or
yeah.
so. That it's been
Oh
out
yeah,
or
no,
something
I'm
like that.
I'm not super into Sleeps, but I've seen Sleeps a lot because of Beth because they're one of her favorite bands. So I'll just be like, Sleeps torn, got you a ticket, we're going, and that's
Hey, you know, just put
They
me on
are
that
a-
invite
they are
list.
a
Just
solid- they
get
are
Beth
a
to drag
solid
me out
band.
instead. I'm down for it.
yeah. I mean, because the last time I saw Sleeps was in a sold out Key Club. That was carnage.
I bet.
I enjoyed that because it was like how I like gigs. Just,
Live show second to none. Like
it was just there was just sweat dripping from the ceiling, and there were just bodies everywhere.
Nice,
It was
Like,
carnage.
I was really worried about using sleeps this early because I know performances coming up, and they would also be right at the fucking top. So that's the one that I'm still like panicking.
Are you saving the old switcheroo for that one?
I might have to. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes
all
up.
right. So songwriting of sleeps, that's good. Breakdowns.
Breakdown. Yeah. Oh, do I have to pick?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it's
literally
the whole point of the exercise.
Because the game is the game, James.
The game is the game.
You know what? Recently, it's been End. Like,
End,
I don't feel like there's much more to explain on that one. If you've heard End, you know what the fuck I'm on about.
Yeah,
if you've
'cause
not heard End, go wrap your ears around it,
'cause it's
and then come back and tell me you understand what
I
I'm
can't,
saying.
I can't say it better than if you've heard End, you know what I'm on about. If you haven't heard End, go wrap your ears around it. There's nothing more.
I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say about it. Check it out. Come back.
I absolutely accept End for that
All right,
section.
cool, yeah.
So moving on to production.
Oh, this one's tricky.
So who do you like? Who like when you listen to an album, you're like, yeah, this sounds really good because we are nerds in this room, right? So we pick apart this stuff quite a lot. We've discussed this before.
It's so bad, man. I can't just listen to music for fun anymore.
No, me neither. But I enjoy it. For me, I enjoy it more if it's like a solid production, because well, there are some exceptions to that. We just talked about Sleeps. Their first album, The North Stands for Nothing, was recorded in a shed in Sheffield.
Yeah.
And you can tell. But their songwriting was so good back then that I look past that.
Yeah.
And I've seen those songs live since, and they sound even better.
It sounds so much better live. Yeah, there's like
Yeah,
a
like
much
it's-
bigger, wider.
It
sound
is
to
something that we said last time, like we have touched before. It's like if the songwriting is better, you can power through a pretty shoddy production job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if the songwriting is average, but also the production is average, then I'm more likely to go back and listen to a mid song that has really good production.
Yeah.
If it has a good couple sections in it. But I won't listen again to a mid song that has mid production because I go, there was nothing really that excited me about that song. So both sides of it for me excite me about songs. There's the production side of it, there's the songwriting side of it, and I get excited about both.
There's,
if that makes sense.
yeah, no, I've got you. So production is going to be a bit of a weird one. Like, I like the heavy bits in my songs to like really fucking hit, and then like the kind of like drawn back kind of like softer bits to really kind of like sit there. One person that I think that absolutely nailed that was Poppy's producer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fair
You ever
enough.
listen to that?
Yeah,
Like, Poppy's really
I've
good.
heard it. I don't know who the
I've listened
producer
to
is.
Bits of Poppy.
There's I'm kind of like isolating the tracks that I like from her in particular, but like she's got some really, really good ones where it's just super heavy, super punchy, really in your face, high energy, and then it'll like just kind of disappear and fade out to the background, and you can just kind of chill with it.
Well, she's on
And it's
tour,
like
she's
in
on
and
tour
out,
with
in and out. And
Bad Omens at the minute, isn't she?
is she really?
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
hell
just
yeah.
Bad
Good on you,
Omens
girl.
and her. It's
Yeah,
just Bad Omens
Like
and
she's
her.
legit.
Well,
She's really good.
She did a song with Bad Omens.
Damn. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I need to
Yeah,
check that out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm kind of behind.
Well,
on
to be
the
fair,
bits.
this is kind of something similar to what we saw when we were recording our next EP with Ben Gaines
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Godhand, because he would show his reference tracks from like pop artists, and he goes, some of the production on this is heavier than some metal bands.
That's exactly
yeah. Because I think that's a lot of things is what a lot of people in our genre can get a bit. They can get the blinders on essentially and only listen to reference from stuff within the genre, which is then you are losing out on a whole wider scope of stuff that you could essentially be stealing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like when I said, because like the other week I was in London and I saw I've completely forgotten her name now, Alessandra, who was Norwegian's Eurovision entry. I've never been to a pop gig in my life, but she did have like a live band. It was like a drummer, a keyboard player, and a guitarist.
Yeah.
And it was a different energy than what I'm used to, but it was really cool. There was a lot of really cool things going on. So, and I'm glad that I just went because my mate had a spare ticket.
It's an
and she
eye
asked me
opener,
to-
isn't it? It's like it's an experience. You get to see somebody else's take on the same thing. It might not
Yeah.
punch as hard or whatever, but it's their take on this is what I perceive as heavy and big.
Yeah,
Or,
to be
like,
to be
light and
fair,
withdrawn.
there was a really funny bit because she had like a she had a fucking posy speech in the build up to one of her songs.
Excuse me.
Yeah, like a proper
One of your like classic.
proper just like I am enough. Like
Hell
and
yeah.
I was ready for a breakdown. Like it was like that level of like
You'd already cleared the floor space. Everyone's like got a meter around.
I was ready to spin kick some poor unsuspecting person.
Get arrested on the spot.
Wait, no.
Okay, so I've just done a quick Google on Poppy's producer. There's a guy called Zach Savini.
Why does that name sound familiar? To be fair,
Well, here's probably why his name sounds familiar, because I've looked up his production
no,
discography.
Here we go. Go on.
Chasing Ghosts by the Amity Affliction. Sports by Modern Baseball.
Interesting.
Okay.
This is in order. Clutch.
He's
Yeah.
Some previous Northlane work.
Oh,
Man's got some names.
Um,
Okay,
he's-
I'm
he did- he
feeling
did-
more
he
confident
did-
in my answer, second by second.
He did 5 seconds of Summer.
that's
That only one record that they put out, and then
To
they
be fair, that
disappeared
was-
forever.
but
a good little
But-
pop, right?
the game is the game for that paycheck.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
also switch it on its head here. The Nights by Avicii.
Yo,
What?
that was a good, yeah, okay.
that guy's got
he
range.
he did
So that thing-
early Beartooth.
Oh right.
Maybe this is what's got me, is the fact that he can do like a lot of the kind of softer and poppy elements and
Yep.
like the modern like electronic stuff. 'Cause
Yeah, it's
if I wasn't
it's
going for
looking that
poppy,
way.
I'd be aiming at somebody like Churches, like who have completely
Yeah.
mastered their synth work.
You
and
mean
like
Chiverches?
Chiverches,
yeah.
the Glaswegian
Stop
gal
putting
and her buddies.
V's in your band name.
Can we have a
So-
V on the next team? Please,
So
Tom.
they did Stick to Your Guns, which is more hardcore-ish.
Yeah.
But then they did All Time Low.
Yeah,
This
I,
guy is like.
I am 100% happy with my
They
answer.
did
Yeah,
some-
cool.
he did later Blink 182 stuff, so he did that California.
Oh,
I'll give that one a miss, but yeah.
I mean the production was good, but the
So-
song
That's
was
it. Yeah,
like-
not knocking the producer.
other notable artists. I'll just go through quickly. Good Charlotte,
Nice. Another favorite.
later Good Charlotte, Goldfinger.
Oh, we're going through
Um,
the whole Tony Hawk soundtrack today.
Yeah, yeah.
Blimey heck.
Poppy, as you mentioned, Young Blood, but we might mention him.
See, Youngblood's ties again into Bring Me. If you look at production, there's so many good answers to that bit. It's like, I like all these different bits.
Mentioned earlier, Fever 333.
Fever, nice.
nice.
Just trying to look at other more poppy. Neck Deep.
Which
Nice.
album though?
All distortions are intentional.
Oh, that's one of the new ones. I only like Laughing at.
Oh yeah, no, we're into. But he did post-human survival horror.
So he did do Bring Me.
Bring Me Horizon.
I know, I'm sold. Yeah, Poppy's
And he
producer,
also
yeah,
and
get
he
this
also
guy.
did For Those That Wish to Exist by Architects.
You have accidentally just
Mwah.
stumbled onto a banger. That's just like, oh, this thing. Oh no.
No, what can I say, man? I just know good production when I see
he did the latest Bad Omens.
Oh damn!
He did the latest Motionless in White.
Oh, I'm not. Oh yes, that's
Scoring the End of the World.
Yeah.
Mate,
I mean, the only person you're missing at this point is like Ice 9 or something like that, and then you're good.
Yeah.
That's like the whole range of metalcore
And
to
he
pop,
did
like heavy pop.
Darker Still by Power Drive.
Okay.
the album I've still not listened to.
Yeah.
But he is also the new guy that's working with the Ghost Inside.
Oh, I've
So we-
got. Oh, I'm.
So
I've
he
got-
did. So he did.
I think I won.
I think he did, but he did earn it by Ghost Inside.
I've got mixed feelings about the newest Ghost Inside stuff.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Around it honestly,
Death Grip, I really like.
Yep.
But then the last single they put out, I mean, a lot of r/metalcore, grow up, go outside, touch grass, are calling it like, oh, it just sounds like Breaking Benjamin. But that's the thing is like, I kind of get it though, because obviously the Ghost Inside have been the Ghost Inside forever. They obviously want to do other stuff. I get it.
Yep.
But to me, I suppose it's kind of like the Slayer effect. I want to listen to the Ghost Inside for the Ghost Inside.
I have that problem with a
That's
few
true.
bands. It's like
So
I had this with Architects, like the most recent releases. It's like I want to listen to. This is going to be obviously a shared opinion with a lot of people. I want to listen to Architects. I want to listen to the old heavy stuff. But then I've now got like Architects old and Architects new in my head as like two separate almost entities at this
that is
point.
true.
It's like I'm in different moods, and I will listen to each half of like their repertoire.
Yeah.
But I've got to be in the right mood for.
Yeah.
I'm
I want
like
this
that.
hit.
I'm like that with Architects. I do love both of them.
But I mean, like it is, and then there's things, but at least we don't sit around complaining about it. We literally just go.
Oh, crybaby,
I only
right?
want to listen to Odd Architects, so I will just go and listen to Odd Architects.
Hey, look, if I
the-
want to
the
listen to what
arguments-
Gods of Abandon does, I'll do that. I'll beat the shit out of my steering wheel, and then I'll come and listen to like For Those Who Wish to Exist, and just cry to myself. Like I'll do both.
The thing that I probably don't say to these people that go, oh, I only like their older stuff. Why aren't they doing any more of that? Probably should say to these people is like the older stuff is still there.
Yeah.
It's still
It's
recorded
still
material.
recorded.
And
You
also,
can still go listen to.
There are other metalcore bands that are ripping off Architects that you can go and listen to.
absolutely.
So, and also, we found back onto the producer thing though. I'm not super into it, but the production on Death of Peace and Mind, Bad Opens album,
Oh, it's really
is
good.
really good. Like,
One final name to throw into the mix.
Oh, bloody
mix
hell.
Is the most recent work noted. This is on Wikipedia, but it's the most recent work.
Right.
And it's technically Grammy nominated.
Oh,
oh, no.
Is Spirit Box.
Yeah, all right.
The Fear of Fear.
Yeah,
which,
all right,
For
the
which
EP.
they were nominated for a Grammy.
Jesus Christ!
Mate,
that guy has got a back. What was his name? Run that past me again.
Zach Safini. Or
Shout out to Zach Safini. Or
Okay, we are going to touch again. Can we talk about how clapped the Grammys were for metal once again?
Oh no, I heard this whole thing. So,
The people who were nominated, Not Loose with Deep in the Willow, which is
fuck yes.
immense for the fact
no,
of
that's good.
one of the heavy,
Coachella followed by the Grammys. You are killing it, boys. Keep it up.
Spirit Box, who like two
More than deserving.
more than
of being
deserved.
nominated
I
for
can't remember who else, and then obviously Metallica with their last album,
Oh, of course.
and obviously Metallica won.
Well,
But
so,
they've got
so
Messi in
here's
the
what
name.
here's what I
It's
found
crazy.
out about it, and this is from listening to a very popular podcast with Spirit Box on it.
I've not listened to that episode yet, but we know exactly which one it is.
So here's where I disagree with the Grammys a little bit.
Well, no, because it's just an entire thing.
Hot
It's just a
take
bunch of
inbound.
old people voting on whatever in it.
no.
like-
So it's not just that.
Right.
We'll get back to James's thing in a minute.
We
Don't worry, I'm jamming.
have derailed.
It's not just that. So the singular metal category, right, for bands and not producers, is metal performance, right?
Yeah, the rest of it's like rock.
This has got to be like your live shows, right? How well do you guys perform?
No. This metal performance encompasses everything,
Fuck that. It's
right?
Too, it's
So
too
a
wide.
performance on a record, a performance with mixing it, a performance live. So you can get a Grammy for metal performance for remastering a Metallica tune.
Get off it.
So this is where, for metal musicians, Grammys is probably not your goal because
You know what?
Yeah.
I will
They'll
happily
keep
give out a Grammy as long as somebody actually remasters fucking Saint Anger. Does it correctly? That guy will get a
you're
Grammy.
in that camp.
Everybody else.
No, I am technically a Saint Anger apologist. I am with James. If Saint Anger does have some bangers on it, and quite frankly, if the album was just redone with a better snare and a better production overall, it would probably be up there with one of the Metallica albums. But also,
No
it
doubt.
has to stay like it is because it's important for Saint Anger to exist as it does.
exactly.
Because otherwise,
I want like a Saint Anger and like the old and new.
justice for Lars's snare.
Yeah. Since I found out that you could essentially win a Grammy for remastering something done by Metallica.
So we're going to put out one
or
new
Slipknot.
album, right?
Yeah.
We're going to just keep remastering that.
Yeah.
To be fair though, in the grand scheme of things, like most modern metal bands that we like who do deserve to win the stupid Grammy thing, they'll never will until bands like Metallica pack it in, and even then they'll probably
It's
pick
sad,
someone else
but
out.
I do agree.
Once,
And it's
once Metallica did lose the Grammys to Jethro Tull,
yep.
which is then they're a folk band. But I think, in terms of the game is the game, the fact that bands like Spirit Box and Not Loose can now put on their PR stuff Grammy nominated, that in itself,
Yeah, absolutely.
because you
Get
go,
that, bro,
oh, you were
guys.
nominated,
Go
so you're
on.
good enough to be shortlisted. All right, you're good then. Which in itself, in
So
the mainstream industry, is just as important.
Yeah, absolutely.
I-
Grammy nominated is a good one. The thing that you need to be wary of are the ones where you see the for your consideration, because that is just a
Yeah.
band
like the
starting a PR
commiserations.
campaign
Yeah.
to try and go for the Grammy.
Yeah, but it's whatever, and I've completely forgot what. So we've done production.
Yeah, we
which
did.
is
We
popping.
did production,
and now
so-
we're going to try and finish off the game.
Okay, cool. We're gonna circle that one all the way
gonna
back.
go-
but that-
Okay,
but
cool,
like
cool.
I said,
So I think we had Poppy's producer.
Yeah, Poppy's
Poppy's
producer.
which started it all.
Everybody under
But
the
like-
fucking
but-
Sun's producer, seemingly.
But
I
like I
picked
said,
well.
this is also yes, it's a game and it's an activity for James, but it does spark conversation. Like we have
Yeah,
just had.
we've just gone
Yeah,
through
I'm
it.
going to
that
be
one.
checking out his other works after this.
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
Like I say, it was Poppy that jumped into my head, and that was like the example
Yeah.
that I had. But I'm
But
curious.
turns
as to-
out he's a very good
now I
producer.
know that he's a common link. I'm going to
Yeah,
go check
yeah.
out some of these other artists and go,
So
figured it.
second to last one, the penultimate one, performance. So this is where it comes into like your live performance.
For your consideration.
For your consideration.
Or according to the Grammys, it could be a remaster. So,
Yeah.
but we'll go with, in my game, live performance. So
right.
your stage presence, your energy, your set list design, your production design. All of those can come into a factor. What do you care about? What do you not care about?
Overuse of party poppers.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I feel like there's two ways you can go with this. You can go like big stage production and look at bands.
Like Enter Shikari, like I mentioned earlier.
See, I was going to say, yeah,
Or-
this is
or
it, right?
Current While She Sleeps.
Well, what I was going to go with actually was like, if I was looking at like big bands and like big stage production, like arena tours, I'm a big fan of like fire, lasers, explosions. Give me Parkway Drive, give me like all that kind of like big production, big explosions, gloomy stage, and kind of like there's not much else
Absolutely.
going on. They've got risers, they've got the band on there, awesome. And that's like for big arena tours. But as soon as you get into like the smaller shows, people like Shikari, where it's like, try and contain me in a 30-meter square space and I will destroy the room. You know, I feel like a toss-up between them.
I mean, Shikari could do both.
That's it. I think I would take Shikari just because the amount of times I've seen them, it speaks for itself. I'm like 7 or 8 times in the last
Shikari's-
10 years now.
I think Shikari was Barry's shout for performers, wasn't it?
100%.
It's got
I mean, but Shikari was influenced for a lot of Barry's things, and he was very into Shikari. But yeah, Shikari is a very good shout for performance.
Yeah,
I
hands down.
absolutely accept that.
The Sleeps beat him out on the melodies and that side. So yeah, I'll give him-
Okay.
I'll
So
give Shikari the
you've not
performance.
used your old.
Your
old switcheroo.
I'll take it.
I like that. I'm going to keep that rule in, by the way, Steve.
I like
That's a
it
good-
because it
that's a
made me
Yeah, I
think
think it's
about
good
it. It had me questioning what I was answering. Yeah.
And then final one, probably less for you, but we'll throw it in anyway. Social presence. So the guys that make a stand that can be funny on like the internet or whatever, or the guys that have like weird PR campaigns where you look at it and go, you know what, fuck yeah, that was pretty cool. That was. Or ones that are just like reposted in general.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm going to really struggle with this one.
I know, because I know you don't really go outside or go on the internet, but
Go on the internet plenty. I just not
I know you.
social
I know you
media,
go on the
not,
internet
like,
plenty,
yeah.
but you go to like weird places and not. Like,
You guys, you can make it sound a little less sketch.
And another one for the watch list.
no, I didn't mean weird places. I meant like not popular places.
God, you're digging me a fucking hole.
R/prog rock.
Oh gosh. Wait, so run that past me again.
Just social presence.
Social
Just
presence.
social
So
presence,
though
yeah.
bands
Like, okay, so band that I've kept up with
that,
the
that
most
have
recently,
a good PR team,
You know,
basically.
I'm just gonna go with like the band that I've been watching the most recently, and honestly, it's been I Prevail. I
Okay.
saw their drummer's been doing a whole shed load of like body cam videos of like their actual live performances, what's
Oh,
happening
right.
before and after and
yeah,
stuff like that.
I've seen that. Yeah,
I think he pulled one up where they were on tour with Bring Me.
yeah.
And their show basically got torn down because the stage wasn't able to hold the band and stuff like that, and it kind of spiraled out from there.
Yep.
And the whole band are doing their own little like vlogs and stuff like that. As you know, a better one overall. No, it's got to be Electric Callboy, hasn't it? Realistically,
Yeah.
the amount of no question. Now they've come into my head. Yeah, it's Electric Callboy.
Yeah,
The
fair enough.
amount of social media presence they've had, like on their own back, and then with other bands and other people like Tank hanging out with them and kind of
Good old
bringing them on
Tank the
tour
Tech.
and stuff like that. It's been really fun to watch all like their tour vlogs as well as their studio vlogs, as well as like just the fucking memes and the laugh that
Nice,
they put
yeah.
up. So that's popped into my head.
Sick.
It's Electric Callboy, no
Sick,
doubt.
nice.
Yeah.
So to recap them,
Oh god.
let me see if we can remember. So we have the rhythms of Monuments,
Yes, sir.
the melodies of Funeral for a Friend,
Yep.
the choruses of Polaris,
Yep.
the technicality of
It was Rise to Remain.
Rise to
that one.
Remain.
Yeah.
that was it. The songwriting of
Sleeps.
Sleeps While She Sleeps, with the breakdowns of End.
Ends Brent.
With the chorus is the technicality of Rise to Remain, the songwriting, and the breakdowns of End.
Yeah.
The production of
It's Poppy's Frederick. What's his face?
Zach Savini.
Oh, that was it. Sorry,
Zach Savini, specifically Poppy.
Yeah.
That you mentioned. The performance of Enter Shikari. And the social presence of Electric Callboy.
Mate, that's a tall fucking order.
You know what?
Best of luck keeping up.
I like that one.
That's just wild.
We might have to start like putting these
into
like,
playlists.
No, putting these into like ratings and orders.
So we're gonna have to go.
We're gonna make a tier list of.
We've not written any of this down.
No, we haven't. So
we're gonna have to go through. Every
we should.
single
No, we should.
episode.
If only we were recording it for some sort of digital media.
No, but we're gonna. But the amount of bollocks that we chat is not gonna be a quick run through.
No,
is
to
it?
be
telling
fair,
me you
all
don't
right.
QA these?
Let's start it from now, right? Sorry, Connor and Barry.
No, we're going back and we're getting
Right,
we're getting everyone's stuff in that we've already said. Because I'm not doing it again. I'm sticking with what I said.
You don't get to change your answers either.
No, you can't. Once they're locked
no.
in, we're just gonna have to go through the other episodes
All right.
and just suck
enough.
it up and do
But
it.
that, to me, I think sits on the number one spot.
So
if I'm
far,
honest.
So far, I feel like there's definitely better answers out there. But for me personally,
out of three,
I'm happy with that.
One of the other two is only in third, which is still pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So in my head, this is like a really quite standard metalcore band, fucking disgusting breakdowns when they want them, but then when they're actually doing like the kind of poppy-ish clean bits, it's not like full on singing like whiny boy metalcore stuff. It's actually got some chunk to it. That's what I like.
I mean,
exactly.
Cons-
It's what Polaris are really good for. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Considering the fact that Alex is like, yeah, this is the best thing ever, perfect band. You can tell who writes all the new songs. Go on, yeah.
Hey.
It ain't me.
That's what I'm here for.
But yeah, I think we're in a good place to leave it.
Yeah, I mean that's good. Yeah. So,
Any other remarks from anyone?
any advice you want to give to our 11 listeners?
No, not really. Nothing exciting.
Cool. Right.
Anything coming up for James that you could publicly talk about?
Check out the new Wolf stuff as it comes out. We've got a few
Yeah, to
few
be
extra
fair, it's
bits.
whatever's coming up for us. in the
Check out the band. Stick with the band. Yeah, I'm not doing anything solo.
Yeah, nice.
And then you're just going to log on to that game that you want to play.
Hell yeah, get on some Last Epoch. Yeah, I cannot wait. Diablo clone number 500.
Oh, we love a Diablo. I don't like Diablo at all. I'm going to go home and play Helldivers too.
I mean, also a very
for the
good
love
shout.
of democracy.
Nice.
Hey,
yeah,
if,
so,
if the queue's fucked, I'm right there with you. I'll be with you in like half an hour.
Oh my god. Sound. But yeah, so Alex, anything you want to say to everyone at home?
No.
All right, so well, to be fair, like there is this other thing that Alex mentioned earlier. He was going to ask, like, so yeah, we're just going to pop to the shop. Anyone want anything?
Yeah, for the 11 people listening that keep listening, do you want anything from the shop?
Anyway, peace.
Peace.